out they're part of a simulation. Maybe it's already happened before. That's why the developers put in that feature. I wonder what happened to the characters that put all the pieces together. Times I thought about drinking today, 35. Times I thought about pills today, 19. A cigarette smoked, 8. Entry 4, May 17th, 2019. Middle school was more or less what you would expect. Puberty, self-discovery, peer pressure, the whole gauntlet, really. Everything except an interest in girls. I guess his hormones hadn't really reached critical mass yet. Maybe he's a late bloomer. The majority of the assignments were more long-term means meant to carry out in high school. Things like prepare for high school football and cultivate an interest in the forensics club. Maybe both have been easy enough so far. For football, I've been increasing his feelings of happiness and determination every time he does something physical or watches football on TV. For forensics, I had a throwaway cause a programming error that made an episode of CSI pop up on a channel that Jared was watching after school. He started watching it on the internet now. They've also started giving me quick assignments to do at the same time. I have a theory that the program is trying to maintain some kind of equilibrium. Like, for every handful of positive effects, there's a few negative ones to balance them out. Guess it wouldn't be all that realistic if Jared was happy all the time. Honestly, I really don't like doing negative things to him. When I see him all sad and dejected over something he can't control, it makes me feel like someone punched me in the gut. You know, it's like I'm looking at myself, 14 years old, wondering what I did to deserve the hurt that I was feeling. Wonder if he can also feel that feeling of powerlessness. It falls thick and dark around him like blackberry syrup. Wonder how often he feels like he's drowning in his own bedroom. I hope never. I don't want him to feel like I did. I don't want him to hate his life so much that he turns to drugs and alcohol to cope with it. He shouldn't have to mire through his life. I did enough of that for both of us. Times I thought about drinking today, 32. Times I thought about pills today, 41. Cigarettes smoked, 11. Entry 5, May 23rd, 2019. In a strange but very welcomed turn of events, Jared has a girlfriend. Not gonna lie, I was starting to think that he might be gay. Not that there was anything wrong with that, but he does live in a conservative town. I didn't want to have to deal with coming out in a place like that. It turns out that he hadn't met the right girl yet, and by that I mean he hadn't met any girl that even remotely interested him. Then Melody got transferred into his chemistry class. His jaw hit the floor so hard I had to remind him to close it before he drooled all over himself. It was like someone reached into his brain, took his idea of a perfect woman, and then stuck her in his class, which might have been what actually happened, but we won't go there right now. Funny, I never would have thought redheads were his type. Guess that explains his disinterest in the rest of the local ladies. Melody was the first redheaded girl that I'd seen in the entire storyscape. I spent the whole class filling his head with confidence-boosting thoughts. I decided to exercise one of my most intrusive powers and hijack the little voice in his head. Take a deep breath. You got this. She's just a girl, nothing to be scared of. Look, she's smiling at you. Smile back. It felt weird being inside his head like that, especially when I imagined someone doing the same thing to me. But it really helped. After class, he was so pumped, he walked straight up to her and asked if she wanted to go see a movie. A few dates later, my man gets up the courage to ask her to be his girlfriend. No little voice required. And she says, yes. He was so happy. It actually brought a tear to my eye. First happy tear I've cried. Well, ever. Really. Times I thought about drinking today, 15. Times I thought about pills today, 17. Cigarettes smoked, 7. Entry 6th, June 10th, 2019. I hate myself. I hate whoever wrote these stupid assignments. I only got one assignment today. Probably would have gotten more if I stayed on, but I'm done for now, maybe forever, I don't know. When the assignment to break his heart came in, I just stared at it for a while, long enough to see that the program wasn't going to allow the day to progress until I started to take necessary steps to do so. By the 5th or 6th loop, the program started reminding me that if I didn't complete the assignment, I would be fired. I just don't understand why he needed a heartbreak. But yeah, okay, it's a learning experience and all that, but there's other ways to learn. Let the kid have his young love. Let it end naturally and be a fond memory for him, not something that pops into his head during bouts of insomnia. I don't use the word love lightly, by the way. Jared loved that girl. And it really showed in his actions. I'm no expert on love, but I know a good relationship. When I see one, she was a good influence on him. Maybe not directly. I mean, she drank a little more than I would have liked, but her presence made Jared want to do his best. Every test he aced for her. Every touchdown he scored for her. She became everything to him. Yeah, I acknowledge that. That probably wasn't healthy, but who cares? He was happy. Of course, I have to be the one to put a stop to that. I did my best to remind myself that this was just a simulation. Jared wasn't real, neither was Melody. But that wasn't working anymore. Doesn't matter if he's real or not. My connection to him's real. God, I'm such an asshole. I did it for the money. That's all there is to it. I broke my little buddy's heart for a stupid paycheck, and not even a good one. Jesus. I did my best to make it so that Jared could heal. He had to hate her. That was going to happen. If she still had feelings for him or had any reason to keep asking himself, what if I had done things differently? Then this could become a weight that he carries for the rest of his life. High school romance or not, that stuff sticks with you. It was this party that they were supposed to go to. Just a typical no parents, no rules type of shindig on Friday night. Jared ended up deciding not to go. Week before he'd showed up to a Saturday practice hungover and coach flew off the handle. He didn't want to risk it. They told Melody she should go, trusted her completely. So in his mind, there's nothing to worry about. Made a throwaway. Boy from another school, chiseled, handsome, tall. Standard high school dreamboat. His purpose was to seduce her. I really hoped it wasn't going to work. How she felt the same way about Jared he felt about her. That she would have enough respect for their relationship, not throw it all away for one drunk hookup. She'd prove herself worthy of that trust. And the eggheads that made this program would look at the outcome and say, wow, I didn't expect that. Well, love is love. Can't mess with that. Wouldn't that be nice? Unfortunately, reality is very rarely nice. Apparently, the same goes for virtual reality. I had the throwaway take a video and send it around. It was an awful way for Jared to find out. But I had to make sure that he really, really hated her. So much so that it would eclipse how much he loved her. Worked. Maybe too well. He's been having reoccurring dreams, which, when I look inside them, I can see blurry images, really violent ones where he does unspeakable things to a girl with fiery hair. He wakes up sweaty and crying, and usually, he can't fall back to sleep afterward. His grades are slipping. Coach moved him off the starting lineup. Dropped out of the forensics club. His life's falling apart right before my eyes, and it's all my fault. I don't think I can do this again. Times I thought about drinking, 42. Times I thought about pills today, 37. Cigarettes smoked, 16. Entry 7, June 11th, 2019. That stupid piece. Okay, I called that asshole that gave me this job and told him I was done. You know what he said to me? You can't quit. I told him there was literally nothing he could do to stop me. I didn't even want my last paycheck. I just wanted to delete the stupid program and forget any of this ever happened. I told him if the complex characters have free will, then I do too. And what I want is to put this whole stupid thing behind me. Tells me that if I quit now, they'll have to find someone else to write Jared. Hasn't he been through enough? I shouted on the phone. He hasn't fulfilled his purpose, he said to me so casually, like he was telling me he needed to stop by the store and pick up milk. I wished that I could reach through the phone and break his nose. Every character in the storyscape is a single part of a greater whole. They need to fulfill their purpose for the good of the story. I practically begged him to just leave Jared alone. AI or not, he can feel things. I know it. That prick that just just kept saying that his hands were tied. We served the story.